Mavrox, I saw your question after I hit the end live stream button. I apologize. I have an answer for your question. When I focus too much on my tongue and my soft palate, I get stiff. So there are two things that might be causing this. One, you're practicing too long. All right, this is a big one. You're practicing for too long a time. Try to keep your practice sessions, especially when it's something new to you, maybe 5 minutes max. During my warm-up, today I live streamed my warm-up, which is what you ran into the tail end of, and I was trying to work on my full-voiced B flat. All right, not falsetto, not reinforced falsetto, full bam opera voice, right? And that's newer. It's a newer note for me. I was working on A natural before. Now I have B flat. I hit the note like twice using my whimper exercise, and that was it. 40 minutes of warming up to get comfortable to that point. I practiced the B flat for maybe 5 minutes, and I stopped because I knew it wasn't going to get any better than that in that particular practice session. So again, it's very important to keep your practice sessions on particularly things that are new for you short. Okay, you want to be playful, you want to be curious, but you want to be observant. And when you're doing something new, it's going to be very tiring for you to observe and accept what is happening so that you can get that information. You want to observe, not impose. The next thing you want to do is a tongue trill. And a tongue trill is basically a fart sound, a raspberry. And why do we want to do this? Well, a muscle in motion cannot lock up, all right? Cannot be stiff because it is in motion. And if you're experiencing tongue tension the way that you told me you are, that moves, all right? That moves it. So whatever song you're singing, that's me just doing a scale. Notice how it doesn't stop moving, it doesn't get stiff. When it does get stiff, it looks a little bit like this. It's inconsistent and it doesn't move, all right? So that's a great one. I would encourage a lot of that. That for me was transformative as a singer, that exercise. I really, really endorse it. I think it's great for tension. The other thing that I'm going to ask you to do, and this is going to be something that I don't think I would have thought of unless my teacher had told me this. So I'm going to tell you this little secret, this little tip, this trick, and it's going to be incredibly helpful. You can practice the tongue and the soft palate without actually singing. Frankly, if you're having trouble specifically, if you know that that is what you're having a hard time with, then doing it without singing is the answer. Because you need to isolate what you're having a problem with and remove a lot of the excess variables that make it more complicated. Complexity in singing is when your fundamentals cross paths. And if the soft palate and tongue, those are fundamentals, if those are causing you some problems, you need to focus on them in isolation. Here's how. You're going to have a shorter practice session with this because again, it's new, okay? And then you're going to have an NG sound. What does that do? Well, what that does is it puts the tongue to the roof of your mouth. And from there, you can experiment with certain things. Say I'm doing an sound. And then I'm going to think E. I literally feel my tongue going wider on the E. And one of the things that's really interesting is I observe that this side of the tongue is hitting the teeth and this side isn't. And I know personally that I know this, and I'm going to tell you this. The E vowel and the tongue in general when singing should be wide. So, could be something here, bringing down the tongue, right? So you start to make these observations. And you start building an awareness and an intimacy with just this. And I'm not singing at all. I am removing every variable. And I'm just exploring the sensation so that I can know what is it like when my tongue is like, it's relaxed and I have an NG sound. What does that feel like? What if I tighten it up? Oh, it narrows. Okay. By exploring these things, you develop a nuanced understanding and a nuanced relationship with your tongue. And I got to tell you, even the best voice teachers cannot fix everything. You need to start to get good at exploring things on your own. I have a marvelous teacher, best teacher I've ever had. I've had teachers who had 4 Grammys and were on the Metropolitan Wall of Fame. They were fantastic, not as good as my current teacher. I have benefited and grown immensely with my current teacher, but I still had to explore on my own. And one of the ways we actually work together is she assigns stuff like this. Do not underestimate this. This is actually the most important part of the video. I'm dead serious. If you do this and you have patience and you use that to explore your tongue and become familiar, it's gonna tell you a lot when you start to sing. And the similar thing goes for your soft palate. Inhale K raises the soft palate. Practicing lowering and upping palatal lifts, right? Practicing that using your nose to check. Just spending time doing that without singing is going to see your greatest results. That's the most important part of this video. The other 2 things are important, but to start with what I just said, okay? So luckily it's in a video. Go back and rewatch this often for like a week. Practice this for a week. Have fun singing, but explore this for a week, okay? And try to have fun with it. So until next time, happy singing. See what I did there? I gave my closer some context because you should have fun singing. Anyway.